Hello and welcome. My name is Tristan Magistus, and today we're going to be playing some more space exploration. As per usual, I am showing you the Friday Facts blog because it helps for those catching up on VOD on, either on Twitch or on YouTube to know what was the most recent Friday Facts, which was 418, which announced the release date, which turned out to be the 21st of October. 2024. If you are seeing this for the first time, so catch up or what have you, along with that announcement, they have set the DLC page live, so you can go and wishlist it, as I have done there. You can't actually pre-order it yet. I don't imagine you will be able to pre-order it. They're not that sort of company. but yeah, so if you are interested in the DLC, and getting that, then you can wishlist now and also find out all about it on the blog post. The blog post itself is basically the same copy as the description on the page here. So if we go to that content there, that's essentially what they put up as this week's blog post. So my video, which is the other thing I need to say, analysing it, is enormous, basically, because I'm both doing the Space Age blog post, which actually only took about 15 minutes to read through, because it's pretty, it's mostly just Friday Facts references. However, there's lots of pictures in this, and that have sort of little bits and pieces of detail in, but a lot of them are smaller versions of pictures on the Steam page, and so I've been through and kind of analysed all of that as well. So the video this week is a bit of a double bill. The 418 Friday Facts and the Space Age DLC page. I don't know if they've added any more. They might have sneakily added a couple of extra ones on or something, but I'm pretty sure this looks the same. And it is going to be live later tonight, basically, because it's taken me so long to edit it. I did approximately 4 hours worth of recording. Not quite, but not far off. So it's just rendering out, basically. So I literally finished it before, because it's British Grand Prix weekend. So I was watching the qualifying, and it was rendering while it was doing that, and it's just literally doing this last bit here, which is it essentially copying the file over, which will take about 10 minutes or so. I won't upload it until after the stream, because it would absolutely kill my internet, and the stream would basically die. So given it's 2.25 hours long, as you can kind 2.25. No, yeah, because that's going off the screen there. So it's like 2 hours 20, 2 hours quarter long. Does it say on here? 2 hours 11 minutes and 43.43 seconds. That's the length of the video. It will take about that long to upload. My upload speed is basically the equivalent of, the time it takes to watch. It uploads at like 1-to-1 parity with playing duration, essentially, especially on a 1080p video. So yes, so that will take a good few hours after the stream, and of course the stream started late, so I'm just looking at the time. I probably won't go till 7:30, but 7 o'clock or so I will start uploading it. It'll have to upload, process, so it'll be like 10 or 11 o'clock tonight by UK time. I'm not sure if there's anyone watching who would be watching that, but yeah, it's later than I wanted. What I wanted to start to do, just to explain it. In fact, let's get the game running. Do that there. Pop that over there. Is that going through? There we go. So what I wanted to do, basically, is slightly switch things up with the videos. I've noticed that if I set them live more like, essentially sort of Saturday lunchtime, Saturday early afternoon for me, then they tend to do better. It has the advantage as well, so this one being a bit of an exception, with it being so long, that if there are people who watch both these streams and streams, then they can watch the video and then come along and chat about it on the stream. So that's quite a nice timing thing as well. But I say I've noticed that me putting them up as soon as I possibly can on Friday, staying up till God knows when, waiting for it to render and all this sort of stuff, doesn't really seem to benefit me very much. I think because of what I do, I think people are, you know, they just watch it when they get time, sort of thing. So I've sort of decided there's no point in me thrashing myself to death, basically. Every Friday trying to get it done. I still do I still try and do it just so that I can free up my weekend. But I don't think there's any point, as I say, rushing to get it up on the Friday. But also, hopefully, I can then start scheduling it, and it can be at a regular time, which I think is probably better for the video. So all that's a very long way of saying that I'm not going to deliberately... I mean, if it's literally 2 lines, you know, I'm not going to deliberately... Oh, do I not have tanks? Yeah, I guess not. We will put them on order. Hello, Huxicle. Is it October yet? Apparently not. I was checking, but not quite. But yeah, so I say they will be going live. I think I'll set them live, you know, sort of Saturday afternoons rather than, I say, try and rush them out on a Friday. But we'll have to see, because I wouldn't be surprised if we get some... Why is this not connected? Why is that ever so slightly off? I wouldn't be surprised if we get some quite significant Friday facts. That's a bit weird, isn't it? That it connects... Well, not the other. I guess it's just an angles and distances thing. Okay, so... I'm a bit puzzled because I copied this from somewhere else. So I don't know why it's not the same connection. But yes, I assume you've seen the announcement, the Friday facts then as well. It was kind of what I was expecting. I don't know, people were still predicting... I mean, I guess not everyone reads the Friday facts, and, you know, not everyone realised maybe that binary was, you know... a set of numbers, you know, probably maybe thought it was just random, you know, random numbers on the thing for no apparent reason, but that was obviously, you know, they get the date that translated effectively to a date range of October the 20th to October the 27th, which is a Sunday to a Sunday, so, you know, it coming out on the Monday seems, that Monday, 21st, seems exactly in line with what you'd expect, but I say, people didn't... you know, so because Exterminator did a video and said, you know, asked people to predict it, and there were people going August and, you know, September and all this, and it's like, well, they kind of hinted what it's going to be, so, yeah. But perhaps more wishful thinking than based on evidence, I guess. So, I bet I've not got even... I have got some trains, okay, so we could pop that on. I didn't just, and I guess just to pick up on good old SpaceX, I did not play. I was kind of exhausted all this week. Not least of all because of doing the video on the... Whoa, okay, you're coming in then, are you? Right, hello. I haven't even got any blooming chests. Would I not have had them from deconstructing the trains here? Random bell. That's feeling a bit weird. But say, I'm not... I'm kind of not entirely sure. Oh, I haven't got any in there either. Where I got to. I do know I was going to set up smeltings using the pyroflux, so I guess we'll crack on with that. Maybe if I do a relatively boring, mundane one, then I won't collapse on Sunday from all that video editing and stuff. Whoops. It was, I say, it was a great one for me, this Friday fact, because it was like a relative... Oh, I didn't delete that. I tried to tidy everything up with the coal and stuff, so as well. Just grab that as well. I wonder where those trains are. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Yeah, great one for me, because there were lots of little things in the images. I feel like I don't want to spoil it, though, because we could have a look at some of them. But yeah, loads of interesting. The most... I also kind of went off on one. There's not in a negative way or anything, but there's basically a reveal of what the second fruit is for Gleba. And yeah, it's an interesting thing. And I say I kind of went off on one of my mad speculations, so that was quite fun to do. Yeah, so I need chests. So I haven't set the recipe. So we need that. And then we've got storage tanks. I guess I should probably make sure I got off. In fact, did I put inserters in there? I have got inserters in there and debris and speed things and what have you. And I don't really need these because it's already built, I think. But I was going to do a copper piece, so that's cool. Okay, right, let's go up. Nip back into the base. Bit of meteorite. Dooby-dooby-doo. So yeah, I say I'm barely remembering where we are in this, but I think, I'm pretty sure we were setting up pyroflux-based iron and copper smelting. What else we were going to do, I don't know. I wonder what was going to be at this station. I'm sure it was something important. Because this is the... what are they called? Cargo section, rocket sections. So maybe that was going to be the... what's it called? Yeah, is it capsule? Space capsule? Can't remember what they call it. Was that the core extractor? Maybe. You mean... I don't... I should have watched the last 10 minutes of the last one so I could remember. I think it's probably the capsules. You know, these things up here. What are they called? Whatever those are. Oh, look, I haven't actually upgraded everything. So where is that train then? It's down there. And why have you not got any inactivity? Oh, it's waiting to empty. Oh, and that's because that's set on and. I haven't tidied any of this up, have I? Because we've got loads of rocket fuel, loads of them on the belt. I bet I was going to swap that to bots at some point. Okay. Yeah, I reckon it's probably the capsules. Have we got chests and etc.? Chests. Oh, that's good. Just never seen one. Yeah, so the core extractors are these things here. It's a pretty cool design. Let's pop up here. Have a proper look. So these are the core extractors. And basically, the idea is you're drilling out the core of the planet, basically, although it's just an infinite resource. As you can see, it's pretty speedy because all it does, it'll only output on one at one point. So I found that if you do, whack it into a, in fact we could upgrade that as well. Whack it into a splitter, then you can get effectively a belt worth out of it. But what it does, it's a diminishing returns mechanic. So a bit like beacons are going to be in version 2, where the more core extractors you put on a single planet, the slower, the less each one produces. But it's not linear, so 2 will actually extract more than, half of 1, if you see what I mean. So that's not explaining that properly. But where you might expect, so if you put, say it's 1 per second, and you put 2 on, you might expect it to be 2 per second. But it isn't. It's like 1.67 because it's like say, a diminishing returns thing. But it's obviously got a tail on it, so I don't think it reaches a point where it's harmful to put more core extractors on. It's just that, and that's it comes out of all of them, and it's sort of because it averages it then across the thing, so it's not like, the first one gives 1, the second one gives 0.67, the third one gives 0.5 or whatever. Train. It's more like both of them give 0.8, see, and then if you add more on, then both of them give 0.6 or what have you, sort of thing. So I think the maths works that it is beneficial technically to add more, but as I say, it's like law of diminishing returns, so you're not really gaining a lot after a certain point. And of course, it means that each one, mines slower, so your trains fill up slower. So this setup here, I've got the reason the trains, in part, don't, keep this properly stocked, is because each one is filling up quite slowly. But eventually, because mining prod applies to it, so in fact I don't think it has... Does it have I don't think it has module slots as well, does it? No. But you see it's got the prod module thing. Prod bonus thing. So yeah, basically, if we ever get to the point where we're doing that research, in however million years that takes me, then that'll be beneficial. But yeah, so it's quite an interesting mechanic to play with. But I've tended in a lot of the overhaul mods that when I played Bobs and Angels and stuff, I've not really done all of the mechanics. I've just stuck with mostly vanilla type stuff, and because part of the point of them, a lot of them is they do give you options, so it's up to you what you do really. You can still get it to work. But I didn't really explore a lot of the mechanics, so I was quite determined to give coal mining a go. And what's really good about it is that it's infinite. It's just an infinite amount of stuff, and so it reduces the need to get more mining outposts. I bet that one's dead, is it? Yeah. So we need to set this to 0. Well, it's got some bits in it, hasn't it? So that's a bit annoying. Yeah, so I quite like that, the way it works. And this isn't a very good processing thing that I've done. Oops, wrong buttons. Getting confused. But, right, if we send you... Well, if we get, actually... So does that have... Because what have I called it? Load and unload. And is this set to 1? And that's set to 1. Okay. Cool. So we send that to the depot. Yeah, a lot of the artwork in SpaceX is really, really cool. I kind of see why. Because they took Arundel on well, big part of his job is, I don't know, mainly. It sounds like he's done a lot of the game design stuff, but, sort of a concept artist, basically. And he's very good at the Factorio style, basically. Right. So this up here should tell me the maths. Which is that, because, yeah, we want to feed iron ore into that one, but I don't need life support. Where's the rate? There it is, rate calculator. Oops. So, in terms of blue transport belts, it's apparently only 0.2 that we need to satisfy. So in theory, they could probably be all in a line. If we go to per second, well, they only need 4 per second of pyroflux. All of that only requires 8.8 a second. Okay. But in terms of output then, fluid-wise, we would be outputting 560, which is single pipe in the theory. But we produce transport belts. Yeah. Not even a fifth of transport belt? Okay. Oh, and that only becomes half a belt of iron plate. Huh. I wonder why I've sized it so small. 0.489. Okay. Can I not put prods in it? No. Okay. So, really, I probably want to double that, don't I? Because how much does this theoretically process? Or produce? See, that's producing 1.5 belts of iron ore. In theory. I say it's not because of reasons, but we're only consuming here 20% of a belt. I think I want to double this, really, don't I? Okay. So, how many actually are there? There are 22. We could do then, maybe, is... It's going to load it on, haven't I? But if I have the loading station up here somewhere... I think that's what I was going to do, wasn't it? This rings a bell. Do a little branch off here for the load station. So we've kind of got as much room as we need, I think. But if we say... Maybe we take it up a bit. And then, I don't know. Actually, let's take it past the end of the station. They also grew from 2 to 8 graphics people. Yeah, that was quite interesting, wasn't it? That was quite a leap, really, in terms of number of them. And I think the most remarkable thing to me was that means that just 2 people did all of the graphics for... Well, I suppose it might be in the sense that, you know, people left and... You know, maybe it was a team of 4, and of course you don't know. Maybe they're using, you know, subcontractors as well. You know, just do a bit of the artwork. But yeah, I mean that implies that it was just a team of 2 or so doing the you know, the base game, the art for the base game, which, as I say, is kind of kind of bonkers, really. So let me put, say, this at maybe that sort of distance. So what I'm thinking is we basically just take them that way. Yeah. And then we want... Because these are massive. And I suppose there's a risk that I run out of power, is that? Yeah, leave space. But, yeah. So we've got... Can't see him. Brilliant. Was it 20? I think it was 22. So if we say 11 per row, this down actually. There's a bit more working room. So how much is that? 6. So if we do that, And that gets us 11. Go in and out. In fact, if I do... Because we could turn this into 2 lanes, really. A bit simpler. Oops. What are you doing, bots? Being silly. Because, yeah, we could turn it into 2 lanes. And basically have them on both sides. It always seems a bit fluid, I must say, when they talk on the Discord and stuff about what everybody does. Because it sometimes sounds a bit like they can basically pick what they want to work on. But also then, I mean, the way... I mean, he might have been joking, but, you know, the way Rhaegar described basically picking up the fluid thing was almost a sort of a... I wasn't supposed to do this type of thing, you know. So, it's going to have fluid in as well. Am I being done with? Oh, it is fluid that comes out, isn't it? Out of this one is the fluid. Okay, so that doesn't need to be there. And then, what's going to be the best way of arranging it? Probably something like that. And then we can basically pipe that over there. Assuming I can do something in reverse there, yeah, that'll work. I never like using gigantically long pipe on the surface. I thought you wanted 44. Yeah, so I'm going to double this up basically. So I think I put 11 on each side, I hope. And then, you know, we'll literally just double this up. But I need to put the modules in it and all that sort of stuff as well. So hopefully that'll give me 44, I think. I'm not sure my brain is in a good enough position to do maths today, so I might well have got, you know, mucked that up. So we have 22 here. And we have 22 here. Okay, yeah. So I think we're right. Okay, so you need turning round, don't you? In fact, what have these actually got in them? Oh, just pure prod. Okay. Wow. I'm not sure I've got enough for that. But we should. There you go. It's in the tank, obviously. Well, I suppose those ones have actually got prods in already, haven't they? So. And that. That's across there. One of those. That. Stamp it down. Chop that one off. Didn't turn these round, did I? There we go. And then, obviously it needs the pipe for the input as well. Oops. Anyway, hope you're doing well. I didn't really say hello. Yeah, hope you're having a good day. I was just being a bit late because I was basically watching the qualifying for the British Grand Prix. I don't pay for... So I've been, you know, Formula One fan since I was a kid. But it's not shown on terrestrial television in the UK. It's on Sky, which is the one of the satellite provider in the UK. Oh, I'm out of undergrounds. Okay. But the British Grand Prix, there's a terrestrial provider, Channel 4, that, you know, sort of sub-licenses it effectively from from Sky, and they basically have an arrangement where specifically the British Grand Prix, they get to show it live basically. So that's why I like to watch it. One of the reasons, because it's the only race each year I can watch live. Plus, of course, being a Brit, it's our national race. Did I say that far up? Right. Yeah. Silverstone, yes, Silverstone, which, from what I was actually saying in the commentary, because we're having a very strange summer in the UK. We've had several periods where it's been like really hot for the UK. I mean, it's, by some country standard, it's been nothing, but it's gotten up to 30, well, close to 30 degrees in the UK on a couple of occasions, but then, like at the moment, it's more like autumn than it is summer. And they were saying that because Silverstone's very exposed. I don't know if you've ever seen it on TV or anything, but well, actually, not been sort of thing, but it's like, well, it used to be it was an airfield during World War II. So it's effectively repurposed, but that means it was all open, and wind basically just, I've never been to Silverstone and it not be windy, which is difficult because if it's cold, then it makes it even more cold. If it's rain, then you get driving rain because of the wind, and if it's warm, then it cools you down and you don't notice that you're getting sunburnt because it's all open and exposed. So you're just getting blasted by the sun all the time. So it's like the sort of the worst of both worlds, really. But yeah. Apparently it's only like 11 degrees or something there, which, I say, even for Silverstone, that's pretty chilly. Okay, so we need to go and get more pipe, because I have underestimated. I guess we can pick these up as well. I'm going to recover everything. Because the other challenge with this method of production is the whole scale of it, as is the power demand. Basically, it is incredibly heavy on power demand. The other one, when it kicks in, the steel one, is like measured in gigawatts type territory. It's huge power demand. But of course I built an insane amount of solar, and I've got lots of nuclear set idle, so hopefully I should be able to support it. We shall see. Right, so if we imagine that these guys, because we need to double these as well. So how many have we got? We have got 35 of them. Okay. So we want 70. Crikey. And what does the actual... Oh, they do pass through, do they? Or didn't I discover that it isn't pass through? I seem to recall. No, it is pass through. Okay, that's cool. Okay. That'll make it easier. If we split it up, I think... Well, if it's only a belt's worth. So what's at the... So if we want 70, and then we want... I guess we want like 18 on the side, maybe? Something like that. Just to give us a nice round number. What we got there? 8, 16... 18? I didn't see the recipe, did I? Iron no, that's steel. Iron ingots. Like that. And then these output iron ingots. Like so. Right. Nobody lights on, have I? My solar stamp blueprint is 27 by 27 chunks. Oh my word. I assume that's for a megabase scale thing, is it? Mine's quite a small blueprint, but I sort of slap it down loads and loads and loads of times. Which is not good, because it means the ratio goes out at the more, the more I put in, basically, because it's not perfect. Because it couldn't be, because, it's only a relatively small blueprint. But so it therefore means it goes out of whack the more and more times I do it. When I did my Megabase series, I got to a point where it was like noticeably out of scale, essentially, and I had to slap in, because I ended up with 1.1, I think it was, million solar panels, and I basically had to put in something like 300,000 extra accumulators to make it all balance up. Okay, so maybe if I put that down there. Excuse me. I should give a... I don't know. Time is there. I was going to say, I should give Megabasing another go. It's been a long time since I did that series. I think maybe... Let's move it sort of slightly over. So in case I did want to beat something here, because... I don't know that I would with that, but I should. Well, seems Coverix has now redefined what a megabase is, so around 10k base. Do you think he was serious on that, though? I taken it as a little bit of a joke, just a little bit of a troll sort of thing. Well, you never know, but I say I'd sort of taken it as a sort of a, because it was I can't remember what it's called. You know that mod that does, because there's that group, isn't there, where they all do sharding of servers and all that sort of stuff, where they're all playing, it's a whole set of servers that are connected together, but it's one game, as it were, and I think because they hit 1 million, didn't they? That was like a world record thing, and like it was in in PC Gamer and stuff like that. So I sort of assumed, he was just sort of joking around with that, basically. But I mean, obviously, the massive productivity gains that Space Age gives, I can't see how that that group, basically, when it gets a hold of it and there's that mod's in place and all that sort of stuff. How much is actually now coming out of this then? Wasn't it not even about yet? I mean, they'll hit several million, I would have thought. So maybe it is doable. Maybe it is a viable, sort of a viable target. Blimey, 1 million science packs. Although I suppose it's 1 million science, isn't it? Because that's part of the thing. Because everyone tends to talk in terms of science packs. Because do I not have those on? Because you can't really get proper measures of science, but we're going to get that in the new expansion. Right, so do that. I realise I put that too close. Okay. Now, are you actually going to process all of this? So it's ever so slightly too many, isn't it? So I think just to make sure we sort of use it up, because reasons. Can't believe I haven't got any then. I guess we were just in space then. If I do that, say, and then a couple of them. lights on. Cool. Factorio, that's it. Yeah. My 10k base is a vanilla base. Cool. It's way better than I'd done. I mean, my attempt was, I mean, because I rounded the numbers so that it would do, an even number of machines and stuff, but I didn't actually even achieve it. It was like 5,200 or something, and it was chugging at whatever it was, 30 frames a second at best type of thing, but also it didn't actually sustain that. It ended up, I think it was 4,800 or something it could just about do. So yeah, it wasn't a very good mega base, but I did enjoy making it, Don't like that. Oh, that's like that. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe if I head back before I set up the train, in case there's anything messed up. What's that? Just a tile. Okay. No, let's put the train in, but not connect it. As in, not give it, any resources to play with. Right. So, do I want to branch it off here, or have it come out of the main line? Did I do any smarts on these? No. What are you set at? We set that as 2. And then imagine that a train would be, in fact, it probably wouldn't work, would it? Because I need this to be here. Okay. But then it's quite slow at eating it, It's like one of the benefits of it. Okay, so we'll assume that it's just literally one train, so then, there's nothing stacked up behind it, so we can literally just take a branch off. A sub-branch. Right then, so... Oh, hello, Sally. Welcome. Hello. Am I? I'm okay. I'm doing well. I hope you're well too. Having 16 machines produces 85 blue belts of green circuits is a bit beyond vanilla, where I need 3 machines just for 1 blue belt. Yeah, some of those numbers are insane. It's like, that's because I set that on 2, didn't I? And then unset it. Let's send you to a depot then. Yeah, I mean, the numbers are going to be bonkers on some of it. And I don't know that represents... Because I was like, when I did my video, I was like, is that all of their green circuit production? Is that... They've just concentrated it all on Alvis and they send it around. But I don't think it is, in reality. I think that's, just, some local green circuit production. I don't think that's anything like the total amount of production you can make. The one they did with the foundry, where it was, what was it? A single foundry making, I can't remember what the number was. Wasn't it something mad like 11 belts worth of gears or something? It was something insane. And just out of one foundry, because it had maximum number of quality everything on it, basically. In fact, it looked like it was struggling to put the stuff out, basically. So yeah. I think if big is your, your target, then the scale kind of changes for space age. Right, so I think we need to chop this one back, do we? And then put a station here, but it's only a 2-wagon thing, so no, it lines up perfectly. That's good. This is because I haven't got a cliff explosive, because I forgot them as well. Okay, if we cancel that so they don't bother. I'll get some cliff explosive when we go back. Let's finish this off. Loading will be here. For 5k science, I think I produced 80 belts of green circuits, but it is not min-maxed. Yeah. So that, yeah, it just shows you, doesn't it? I mean, that, you know, that seems ridiculously big to me, but that's, what's that? That's less than that one build was producing, was it? Yeah, 85 blue belts out of that one little build is, as you say, just over 5k. I mean, obviously, rounding off and all that sort of stuff. When you say you didn't optimise it and what have you, but yeah, that's a single little build producing enough green circuits to support what we would call a mega base now. So the scale is just going to be off the chart. What am I looking for? I'm looking for that one, because it's got the doobies on it. And then here's my maths thing. So we need to swap that to iron plate. Oh, where are you, iron plate? Are you even in there? You're not in there. Okay. Then, of course, a train. It's 4,000, isn't it? I think. No, wait. It was 2 carriages. It is 8,000. All right. Because it's 4 in each. Yeah. Okay. I actually realised I've playing another game. I've done a super simple version of this, and it's way better. But I can't remember how it goes. So we'll just have to stick with this for now. Set train limit. Do. Excellent. And then we can find the other iron plate, which is up here, I think. Here we go. Oh yeah, double loading. Huh. Is it worth having that instead? I mean, we are only technically producing 1 blue belt, so probably not. This is where it'd be nice to have the priority thing, you know, that's coming in with rail, because I prefer it using this, you know, because it's basically free infinite resources, so, but you can't obviously do that. Hello, Bacon Magician. How are you doing? What was that? That's right. I wonder how many million green circuits we need to trash to get to that level of quality. Yeah, I mean, the stats are going to be, like, insane, aren't they? I mean, especially if you want to go right the way up, everything quality level 5. I think, basically, you're going to use an entire planet's worth of resources just to get quality. Friday Facts video up today. Yes, it will be, but it'll be quite late. I was actually, in fact, we could... am I on game or am I on screen? Hang on a sec. If I do that... in fact, there it is. So it's just rendered out, basically. So this is the video. This is your timeline preview. So it's 2 hours 11 minutes long. Of which, so all of this here, past this point, basically. Why are you not showing anything? That's a bit worrying. Bit worrying that that's showing up. Oh, there we go. Just catching up. But all of this here, past this point, you get a super preview. Yeah. Where is it starting? This is all like super duper speculation, basically. Enemies and defences, yeah. I've actually put like subheaders in it because there's so much, basically. So from that point on, this is basically all the read, and then this point on, in fact, I'm pretty sure it's that point on, is all of the speculation I did. It's just mad, isn't it? But it's because it's the Steam page as well. The Steam page has loads of pictures on it, and there's loads of little details in there as well. So yeah, you'll have to clear your diary, I'm afraid, to watch that. But yeah, it'll be going up, I would guess, because it's rendered out. I need to check it through, but I'll do that at 4 times speed. So what would that be? If I end up stopping streaming about 7ish, be a couple of hours to upload, so it'll be about 10 maybe, which would be 5 hours time basically, assuming I don't find any errors, because if I've got to re-render it, then it will not be 10. It will be set live sometime tonight basically. There's not much point having stacks. I promised 2 hours 15 minutes today. Oh, I'm sorry. Tasting new Easter eggs, indeed. Also, it was just a kind of promotion coinciding with the Steam drop. Got me hyped. Yeah, I mean, I literally say that in the video. Basically, if you compare the text, from the Steam page and the, the Friday Facts, they've literally just put the, the Steam page, which is advertising copy, basically. I wouldn't be surprised as well if it's been put out as a press release. That same text has got sent to your IGNs and your Eurogamers and your PC Gamer and all that sort of stuff. Because it is pretty much advertising copy. Which I don't mind. It was quite nice to have one where the actual Friday Facts bit was, 15 minutes or so. What am I looking for? I'm looking for balances, aren't I? So if we flip that over, yeah, so it was kind of nice just to have one. The actual Friday Facts was relatively simple. But yeah, I was amazed by the amount that's on the images, essentially. Cool. So I think it's sort of ready to go. We need to go and get the missing bits, and then we can kind of start connecting it and see what happens. See if I've messed up any connections. But I think we're kind of there. Where did I put my tank? No tank there. Down there, okay. In fact, I guess it wouldn't, because this is the branch without any trains. I'm a bit surprised that didn't get run over. They're heckin' quiet on the mysteries of Aquila. I wonder at this point if they'll even do a primer. I literally speculated exactly the same thing. I'm starting to get the feeling that Aquila will be just left, for you to find out, basically. Maths-wise, it does work that we would get something, I think. Because there's 15, I think, is it? Friday Facts, 16 Friday Facts, something like that. And that gives them plenty of room to do one on Aquilo. Well, because they usually do 2, don't they? So they could do 2 on Aquilo. They could do 2 on Biters. Another 5 maybe quality life type improvements. Bit more maybe on space platforms, because we haven't heard anything really since the very very early Friday Facts. So if you look at maths, it sort of works out. I'm sure summer there'll probably just be a quiet one when they've all gone on holiday for a bit. So yeah, I could see it going either way, that we'll get something about Aquila, and that it's actually fairly... Because, we still don't really know what Gleber's all about. We know it's got biochemical engineering, but what does that even mean? So, yeah. You live in the UK? Yes. I live in England. Merry old England. How did you... well, they did say it was cold, yeah. That's about the only... Well, cold and dark as well. Dark was a new revelation. I don't know what dark is meant to mean. To me, that implies that basically, there's no sunlight. Essentially, that's what they mean by dark, and that you have to be working in the dark. But also, therefore, dark. And I didn't say this in the video because it seems fairly obvious, but I think that means solar doesn't work on Aquila. So your only options are nuclear fuel or, coal burning, essentially. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's no coal patches. I mean, obviously you could make, emergency structure, solid fuel or rocket fuel or something and burn that in regular furnaces. But I think basically there's going to be no coal on Aquila or uranium. So in order to do anything that involves power on Aquilo, and I say I didn't put this in the video because I say it seems fairly obvious, but in order to do anything there, you've got to bring in fuel. I think it's probably the restriction. It won't have oil, it won't have coal, it won't have uranium, and so you need to bring power essentially with you and set up some kind of thing. And that's one of the reasons I think there's a plutonium in there, because then it's much more energy dense. That's we've got a super dense energy, nuclear energy source, and so you only need to set up a few. You don't need to have, loads and loads and loads of nuclear processing. You can use this plutonium as a sort of a better version. But yeah, cold and dark. I lost track then. I was trying to copy this, but not this, because there's no station there. Unload. Paste. So I send it to depot. Is it even going to come here? Oh, and it won't, because there's no material, is there? So we'll go and sort of restock. And dark, yeah. So it means solar power sucks, and it will affect your spaceships, yeah. Yeah, I suppose that's an interesting knock-on, isn't it? If you've powered your platforms using solar, then basically when they get out to Aquilo, then they probably will not work. So you'd have to have some kind of burning type technology. My assumption is just burning coal and stuff is viable on a platform. They're not going to bother with, there's no oxygen, so you can't burn anything. But we haven't actually seen boilers on the spaceship, have we? So maybe that is, maybe they are going a little bit more realistic then. And that your options are nuclear or solar. But yeah. Didn't think about that one. They said we need nuclear power on space platforms after some routes. Okay. Oops. Maybe Aquilo is like 3 times as far off from the other planets. Yeah, I think that's got to be it. I mean, I'm sort of still wondering, and I think the answer is actually obvious, but I'm sort of still wondering in a sense, why can't you just fly there? So, in the same way that I could literally just drive and find the next coal patch, or oil patch or what have you, just by exploring. I don't think space is explorable in the same way. You can't just get on a platform and go and, explore space, basically. 2014, so that do need one there. And that's why, because it showed you needing research, and it's like, why? If I look up into space, obviously you need to kind of know what you're looking for, but you can see Mars, you can see Saturn, especially if you've got, telescope or what have you. They're not hidden objects that you don't know where they are. So why can't you do that in Alphas? And obviously the reason is gameplay, but it would seem a bit weird if there is the ability to just fly a space platform around that you could literally go and explore, and you could find the planets, but instead they actually seem to be locked behind research, which implies that you're trying to find where they are using your research. So So yeah, so I think that's entirely for gameplay reasons. I don't think that's, you know, a way of cheating it. They just want to lock it off so that you only go there deliberately, sort of thing. You don't just fly off and stumble across a planet. Nuclear in space, I think the biggest worry is how do I get enough water? You get ice asteroids, I'm sure they balanced it. That in mind, yeah. It looked like there were loads of asteroids. I think it's a bit, I don't know about OP, but a bit sort of generous in that way. And that makes sense, you know, because they don't want you, you know, getting really frustrated because all of your space platforms, you know, die every time you try and go anywhere. But it looked like they kind of really ramped up the number of asteroids in certain bits. I think the other challenge with Aquilo is it's probably the route on which these gigantic asteroids are on. So whenever you try and fly there, or send a platform there, you've got to deal with these gigantic asteroids maybe. I'm still holding out hope for there being a proper asteroid field, and that's where those gigantic ones live. But, I suspect it's something like that, and therefore, in order to have a safe route, you need to get the rail cannon or whatever it is we're getting to help us blow them up. But it also then means you've got to have properly functioning, you know, well-defended or well self-defended platforms. Otherwise, they just get destroyed basically by asteroids. Okay, so, oops. Okay. And then if we do that. I realize the entire belt reader will be very helpful now, especially on space platforms. You can't have buffer chests, so reading whole belt as your buffer will be key. Yeah, it's starting to look like. I mean, they have said that you don't need to do circuit logic, basically. But I'm not. It's a bit like the whole. We don't need elevated rails. But it's like, okay, well, if you play without elevated rails, is that not going to make Golgora horrendous? Because of that whole mechanic of, well, you know, you can't really build anywhere other than those platforms, and the best way of accessing the platforms is, you know, with the elevated rails. So it's like you can do it, but you're giving yourself a hard time. I haven't put any inserters on these machines. Deary me. So we want that and that. It's up. So what do we all think of the Gleber images then? Because that was, that's the bit where I've kind of gone completely off-piste, as it were. That's got my, some of the mad speculation that I really enjoy doing it. Last week I noticed there was wood processing on Glee, but yeah, that was that sludge thing. I don't know if you saw my second video. I'm going to try and put some links to it in the actual video, but because I split it up, what happens is I don't think the algorithm, like, you know, sends it round properly, basically. You know, it doesn't send it to people in the same way as the first one does, so people tend to miss them. But yeah, on the Gleber one, obviously it was a very early version of Gleber, so you've no real idea, you know, whether it's really kind of, you know, stuff that... Oh, that's too far away, isn't it? Okay. stuff they've got rid of or what have you. So pinch of salt type stuff. But yeah, it seemed to be taking in some kind of brown sludge and outputting wood. And it was like, well, why would you even do that? That's a very, you know, considering how much we all want to get rid of wood all the time. It's a little bit strange thing to be doing. So, would have some special use, or is it literally just, you know, that's a nice way of getting rid of whatever this sludgy stuff is, and you know, you can burn it, you know, for power type of thing. But yeah, it did seem like a strange thing to make, basically. Hopefully these guys will get running. I'm hoping they're running at, you know, power. Doesn't look like I managed to impact my power system. Are they all running is the question. Yes. Yep. Yep, I'm getting... because I think these fill up, basically. Yeah, so fluid ingredient shortage. There are slightly too many of them, of course. And what about this? These are not... oh, there we go. There's an error. Some speed in you too. Can't output the iron plate quick enough. Okay. But having more of them should hopefully balance it up a bit. Is that going down slowly? No, it's going up slowly, isn't it? Okay, maybe then. Think about a secondary output of these. So if we take this. It's too close to them anyway. 2, 3. Oops. Finally, my 18 buffer chest of wood on now is giving new purpose. 18, I think I passed 1,000. Wow, okay. This is quite weird in that regard. It's because you can use use wood for green circuits. So it's actually like quite a useful way of getting rid of them. I wonder if I've ended up, because I should have, and ended up. Yeah, so I've got some wood ones there. But yeah, it's sort of a useful way of getting rid of them. But obviously, mostly I just burn it and get into that chock full of wood stage. It's still not really. That's better. Oh, you should be okay because you've got, yeah. Super duper. I guess they're therefore both putting on the same side, I think, so maybe it's better if actually it's more like that. More balance, maybe? Yeah, that's it. Like full belt. Okay. You have that there. What's your What are you requesting? Oh, of course this is filling up, so it's not going to be requesting anything, is it? Cool. Anyway, gotta focus on Civ. Oh, right. Go. You playing Civ? Is that Civ 6 or... because they announced a new one, didn't they? New Civ. It's rather late. They've actually... you know, if you look at the timeline for every Civ game, it's like exactly 5 years between them. But I guess in old COVID, basically slowed it down, so it's quite a lot longer between the most recent one. Civ 7, we're all looking for Civ 6, yeah. Yeah, I'd say it'll be out later tonight. Obviously, then do whatever you want, sort of thing. But yeah, it'll be sort of 10 o'clock would be my estimate by UK time. So I don't know what the local for that would be. Obviously, that's GMT +1. We're currently on summertime, or UTC, I guess we'll call it now. Civ 7, we're all looking forward to. Been 8 years. There you go. Never got into Civ 6, still playing Civ 5. I'll be totally honest, I prefer Civ 5. I didn't not enjoy 6, you know. I always enjoy a Civ game, but I think 5 was more, more fun for me. Civ 6, I found a bit too... It went a bit like 4. I never really got... People absolutely adored 4. Never really got on with 4, but... Because it went for that route of, like, just... having, say, 4 cities and them being giant, megalopolis is, seemed to be the sort of, ethos of 4. Whereas I always tended to try and do, I mean, you can still do this in 4, but, what do you call it, broad and, not very tall sort of thing. I can't remember what the proper term for that is, but I always tended to like to have, 50 cities that were all medium-sized than 4 cities that were gigantic. And 6 sort of leaned back into that again, in my opinion. It was a bit more, again, about sort of, well, you want 2 cities that are doing whatever victory condition you're going for, and that's what you focus on. But, yeah, so not that I didn't enjoy it. But. Okay, so it looks like that's filled up, so I guess we could get it looping back into the system. And this should start outputting some numbers at some point, maybe. What are you saying? Get any output signals at all? Okay. But it is still 5.4. I did change that, so we're okay. Would 3 fit there? Yeah, it is. What kind of magic can you do with the bacon? You mean in this, or I haven't really got beacons really, so we haven't got any bacon at the moment. I don't even think I've done the technology because it needs the red. Whatever they call production science, and I don't even think I'm making them because we sort of came down here. Why did I come down here? I think I was missing something, wasn't I? Oh, I was going to set all of this up, which is why I'm building these extra production. There we go. So I was going to start setting cargo rockets up, like properly. I'm kind of amazed this is chugging away still. What are you actually building over here? Oh, I haven't actually set any of that up building. Okay. Okay. No wonder it's still doing bots and stuff then. I guess we're only getting a small amount of copper coming in. Okay. Makes sense why I'm doing what I'm doing now then. That's a revelation. Oh, I see. Around Baker Magician. Sorry, I didn't twig that at all. The magic of bacon. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. We now need to do exactly the same build for copper. So where's a good place to put that? I think literally just down the road. I'm sort of doing this thing again though, aren't I, of cramming everything in. But these are... And this is defunct anyway, isn't it? Yeah, that's all. So we could order up a train, special train. And I could just reuse that line, basically. Yeah, let's do that then. So, if I give this a copy and a paste... Pipes, I've got the pipes, we want that. No, I'll pop it on as a temporary blueprint. And then we will head for the tank again. Do you know in your last blue belt train loader trick where you limit the stacking circuits to 4, 6, 6, 12? I don't know the exact numbers. I know there's a way of getting it to work better with stacking circuits. Needs a 4 belt blue belt to work efficiently. And so I know that you can fiddle about with the stack sizes in order to get it to load properly. So timing issues, don't you? But yeah, I don't tend to bother with a lot of optimization stuff, if I'm honest. I tend to, just sort of slap down things, very very slapdash way. So I'm not great on the whole optimization stuff. I mean, it's not, and that's not. It's just not my cup of tea, as it were. If it works, I'm kind of happy, even if it doesn't work very well. Why did I split that line when I need to get rid of that? Or do I need to get rid of it in that way? Because we could just stick it in here. Because this needs to be... I bet there's a train coming, isn't there? Nuts. So this needs to be a copper unload. Not an iron unload. So I bet there's a train on the way. Let us what? Are you coming here? Unload, unload, unload. No, so I think we're safe. Pink. Okay. That's copper. And what I could just do, I mean, I could ferry it over, couldn't I? Have I got a warehouse or anything? No. So I don't think there's that much in there. It's only a couple of thousand or something. I haven't seen. Has he? He doesn't seem to have done any Factorio for quite a while. Like, as in at all, really. I know he gave up on this. I think he got bored again, didn't he? But I don't know if... Has he done any Friday Facts ones in a while? I can't. But I thought they'd have, given him enough interesting stuff. Because I know he likes to do them when they're, it's big stuff being revealed, as it were. But it's, I know Extern's still doing the Friday Facts videos. That's right, but when it's going 10,000 sites a minute at 60 UPS, you have to think about the... Oh, yeah, I say. It's not... It's just not, as it were, in a sense, my cup of tea, as it were. But... Oh, yeah, I say it's sort of... I know that what I build is just not efficient. I say, I tried to do a 5,000 sites a minute megabase and just completely failed, basically. So it's just not something I'm... Well, I was going to say not something I'm good at, but it's not something I've ever practiced with or, had any real experience with. But I know there's quite a lot of stuff, because inserters are like one of the biggest problems for UPS, is my understanding. So you have to do quite a lot of clever stuff, like with setting timings and all that sort of thing, don't you? It's probably a bit too clever for me as well. I tend to be a bit sort of... My circuit networks are sort of simple Boolean checks, basically. You know, is there enough stuff? Yes. Okay. It's about the extent of all I do, really. Oh, JD plays does, is he? I don't think I've ever really watched much of his stuff. Now this isn't doing any more Factorio because people want to see how. Well, I think he did. I think he did his time, really. Isn't he up to about 12,000 hours or something silly? It's probably enough for anyone. I don't know. They're not my cup of tea at all. But the whole FromSoft and stuff, I know he does them. So I'm assuming he's doing Elden Ring and Earth Tree and all this malarkey. Biddly Bob. Okay, so I need to reset all the recipes, don't I? I think I've cut the line. Bit surprised a train hasn't turned up. Probably a bit lacking, I guess. Let's pop in another one. Like that. We do need another, if I can support it, another one of these bad boys. Good old vulcanite. So we need to copy you from... No. There. Change to the depot. And then let's go with this one. Send you to the depot. Cut the line. Try to, the bots don't. Let's fill it in the meantime. Because I need to swap these to copper. I haven't gone down the check clocking inserters route either. Sorry, who was doing Elden Ring? Oh, Nilhouse, I think. I don't know, so I'm not watching any of this stuff in quite a while, but I know he did a whole set of videos on Shadow of the on the Elden Ring, games, and I think he's a big fan of the FromSoft games, so I assumed he was playing Shadow of the Earth Tree, which is the Elden Ring DLC. I think it was illegal not to colour code the trains. Yeah. Again, you see, laziness. A lot of them I just don't bother. It's like, yeah. They did that on the Friday Facts. I don't know if you saw that one. Basically, they're like, and now it automatically colours your trains in, and I was like, okay, fine. Yeah, it's not the type of thing I bother with, really. So I've not got enough pipe again, have I? I could make a little bit more myself. Change all these recipes. Oh, I forgot I got a load in the tank. Where is the tank? Did the train come in? It did. And it emptied. Cool. Excellent. What about on the loading side then? No path to unload. Huh. I don't need you to go to that unload. I need you to come to this unload. It can't get here. Looks like we're missing a bit of... radar's in the way. Excellent. Oh no, signals. Let's just get rid of all of that bit. Plop it down the top again. There we go. So hopefully that's on its way. We can... Oh, it's overwritten the recipes again. Okay, fine. Yeah, oops. Will you let me... Yes, excellent. So you can easily see what type of train ran you over. I'm not actually that bad. You know, touch wood. I'm not actually that bad with getting run over trains. I don't tend to have that problem so much. I don't know. As I say, I've said that, so now I get run over a million times. But I don't know. I sort of seem to be very lucky, basically. But no, I just never bothered, really. I mean, I did first couple of playthroughs. I was like, oh, I'll colour them in and all this sort of stuff. And I was just like, well, train's a train. I can work out what, you know, what's going on if I need to work out, sort of thing. Sorry, so your train's wrong on the wrong side. Well, indeed, yeah. Left-hand drive trains, you see. Certas, aren't we? I've got one there. Let's see if we can't get some more from the tank. I've actually been, so the multiplayer I play with a friend, we're using a right-hand drive train, because I have tried right-hand drive before and just massively struggled with it. I just kind of can't get my brain around it, and so we're using a right-hand drive system in that, and I keep finding myself building left-hand drive stuff, and it's like it doesn't connect properly, and I'm like, what's wrong? Why is it not working? And then I realise, oh, I've built left-hand drive again. So yeah, it's proving difficult. What was the other thing I was after? Difficult to get myself to work with right-hand drive, but yeah, I have given it a go. Didn't help that obviously I've been driving driving a car for 30 years or something. So yeah, it's very ingrained in what I do, and I've not really driven in Europe, you see, so I've not had to sort of get that part of my brain working at all, really. Okay. Am I out of light as well then? Right. Yeah, looks like it. So we need to change that to copper. About rise up. Okay. This needs to be a Cooper load. These need to be Cooper plate. Okay. Train has either been or gone. Oh, of course, it's put the thing on. Because I read the blueprint over the top of it, so it's not looking for a copper train. There we go. So has it got stuck somewhere? No path to unload. I thought we fixed that. Is that not what that is? Oh, there's something not working there. Why is that? Oh, of course. This was an old track, wasn't it? So it'll have random signals. There were or are some left-handed rail track layouts you can't duplicate in right-hand drive due to rail signal placement. Oh, I didn't know that. I know that. I mean, part of the reason I do it as well is I just prefer the whole thing of, you know, I've just always sort of done that dimension of thing, but then, you know, like that, or you know, like that sort of thing. I just sort of prefer that layout really as well. Just feels a bit neater and tidier, particularly with, and it'll sort of change, I think, with, you know, the new curve that's coming in, because it'll be a lot tighter. But I always quite like the idea of having rail segments doing that, you know, with right-hand drive type signals on them. But then you have that problem of, well, you know, if you want to do any kind of a junction, you know, that works. But if you're doing anything where you're sort of connecting back in again and it ends up all a bit wonky because of how big the curves are. Or it can do anyway. Oh, well, no, probably more accurate to say I ended up doing wonky things because I couldn't get my head around it. That's probably a better way of phrasing it, really. Are you coming here? I think you're coming here, aren't you? Yes, you are. Excellent. So let's see if we can't connect it up. Why have you not got out? Ah, we just run out of undergrounds. We can make some more. Well, I dread the full half circle being wider. The new rails. Yeah, it's big. I mean, it ends up being bigger, doesn't it? It sort of gives you more options of kind of ways to build, but it is actually a wider, bigger circle. I think that's going to be one of the biggest pain points, you know, especially if you've got a base that you actually just want to, you know, bring forward into space age. The whole thing of, I guess they're just filling up, yeah, of your rails, because obviously they'll keep compatibility, they said, for a couple of iterations, but eventually they're just going to turn them off, essentially. So you just end up with a broken rail system, and rebuilding your entire rail system with a different sort of orientation is not going to be fun. Cool. So we have lots of extra copper production. I don't think copper's really a problem in terms of how the base is running. I do think we're missing. No, we're missing some pipes. Okay. So we need to just pop back and kind of do a quick reload, as it were. Yeah, we're missing a rail piece there. So I think that's all the sort of smelty ones I was going to put in. I don't know that you do anything else. I mean, I know you do them things, but do I want to do sand as well? I don't think I can be bothered. Because we've not got to beryllium and holmium yet, so Yeah, we'll just leave that side of it, I think. I don't think the casting machine does anything else, does it? No, just uncopper steel. Cool. So, we now have lots of production that shouldn't be dependent on mining outposts, which are rapidly dwindling, if I'm honest about it. Oh, did I crash through there? Which I've not got, of course. I think it went from 24 to 26 tiles or something. Yeah, so it's not spectacularly different, but it's going to make you know, it's a whole different set of curves with a different radius. And if you've done any tight packing of rail systems or like this, you know, I could probably replace curves relatively easily, but my T-junctions and all that sort of stuff just goes completely out the window. It just doesn't work at all, really. Because it didn't fit in the same space with a different radius, so... Yeah. Which is fine. I personally am not planning to carry any base forward, but I can see it being a bit annoying. Okay. So, we can get rid of these, I think. And do we want to think about making some kind of rocket area? Just going to pop in actually to proper network. So. Because there are a bunch of other small jobs I could do, as it says there. Like I haven't upgraded everything, so I could do some of those jobs. But it feels like the whole thing I need to get going is sending rockets into space. Let's turn that off. Steal. I did steal. Because this is the production area for the rocket structures. So one option would be to build rockets here, basically. So we just have, say, a kind of a line of rockets that we can send into orbit. I would then need to drop off all of the, the things that I want to send. The other option is to integrate it in here, where we already have everything being dropped off. I think I prefer that option. Do I? Yeah. Because I think most of them, red circuits we'd need to fiddle with a bit, but most of them have kind of got a belt connection in anyway, so I could... In fact, I never upgraded the main base, did I? Oh, but still yellow and red belt. But it wouldn't be too much difficulty to add in, say, a bunch of, rocket platforms here, I think. And just sort of siphon off some stuff. Yeah, let's do that, I think. It's probably easier. We need to get rid of that. No, did that already. That. No. That. Okay, and then we need to head back and do the pipe and lights. Just quickly. What else are we going to need though? We need a load of landing pads. Cargoes, things. Say a load. What is a load? A load, I guess, in this context is 6. I do want to do something with returning stuff. I think. Not that we would do that here. Do we need signal transmitters and receivers? I don't know. I don't know how smart. As I understand it, the cargo rockets are pretty smart. I'll have to think about that. I wonder what the cost of a rocket is in the DLC. I think they gave a ballpark of about a third. I don't know that, like, where that would mean in terms of, you know, is that the base cost? Is a third of a current rocket? My guess would be so, and then all of the prod bonus you get, all of the, you know, etc. that you can boost out of foundries and EMPs and all that sort of stuff is makes it, you know, super cheap, because, you know, obviously they're showing you screenshots where it's like, oh cool, you know, gigantic, right, you know, rocket launching area, in order to get you, you know, get you hyped, as it were. But thinking about the weight restriction of the rockets, you're going to need to launch a lot of rockets, you know. At the very least, it's got to be that a single foundry requires an entire rocket. You know? It's got to be of that scale. Because, I mean, even that. I mean, to be honest, that's not right anyway. Because a foundry's not going to weigh less than a ton, and I think the ton's the weight limit, isn't it? So, you know, really, it should be that you can't launch them into space. But you know, that's no fun. But yes, I think, you know, anything is sending it, and like they had that whole area launching, well, as they're going to be called, bulk inserters, stack inserters now. That was, you know, I don't know that each of those wouldn't have more than a couple of stacks of stack inserters. Bulk inserters. You know, I don't think it's a lot per rocket, so you know they're going to have to have balanced it so that you can just launch. Why have we ended up? Oh, it's pollution. You're going to have to launch hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of rockets just to do normal scale basing, I think. You know, if a rocket is only launching the equivalent of a couple of stacks of science packs into space, then any kind of mega base or any kind of scale like that is just hundreds of rockets, basically. There were foundries on the space platform in that. Yeah, they've got them everywhere. I mean, obviously they're going to show off what's going on, but foundries seem to be like loads of foundries seem to be in every single picture, and where appropriate, EMPs too. You know, the electromagnetic plant thing. Although I note that even though we've now seen, you know, the biochemical, what's it called, biochamber thing, that's not in any of, you know, they haven't moved a single biochamber off planet by the looks of things, which is interesting, because it seems to me, so I keep coming back to this fact that Kleber doesn't really seem to have a great deal of appeal to it. Yeah, there's got to be something there that makes it worth going. I'm starting to come to the conclusion that perhaps it's the carbon. You know, that perhaps carbon or carbon fibre is like it's basically the planet where you make carbon fibre. Hello, evening, thank you. But that's like all you do there. That's like all it's for essentially. Is that and the science pack, obviously. But yeah, I can't really see what it's bringing to the party because they haven't used that building anywhere else. When I can't remember if it was said that basically, there's another building that works well with the foundry and the EMP, and it was, to me, the implication was, and that's not the biochamber. So yeah, it seems like it perhaps. Snuggly welcomes. Wow. The look, Gleba is like this self-contained ecosystem that just throws, carbon fiber at, out into the void, basically. That's just what it's there for. So I need to tweak this thingy, don't I, so that it goes all. And then this really needs smarts on it. For the time being, because we're not doing science, I'm just going to set that to 0. Like below smarts. Because otherwise it would just go back and forth, basically. So I think that would get us these guys. And what we really need is just to way limit that down. Do we? Or it probably needs a few, doesn't it? Because we're going to launch more rockets from here than over there. But anyway, let's get it here first. Have I researched spidertrons yet? In this, no. They are way down the tech tree. I need to do loads of more sciences to get spidertrons. So we've got green science, biological science pack, which is a whole thing of vitamelange, I believe. But yeah, I would need iridium. It looks like. Oh no, that's a research required. But yeah, this whole biological catalogue thing. So there's loads of science I would need for that. This is the one where you go actually grow the little wormy things. So no, a spidertron is way off. I'll be honest, I am not in any way anticipating finishing this before Space Age hits, because there is so much content left to come that I'm nowhere, not even anywhere near, I'm literally just, what should be 100 hours in or so, and people, if it's a 600-hour expansion, I'm sort of at that stage, even though it's taken me way longer to do that, but right, here you are. So you've got your manual. So you've actually only got one box, haven't you? Now what's your actual thing? I don't need it to be... Okay, so if it's an all, that's fine then, isn't it? Do I want just 4? Yeah, I think 4's fine. Okay. Where do we want to put these? Closer would be better, I guess, wouldn't it? But if we start kind of here-ish, I guess. We have to make rocket fuel here as well, which is not going to be a problem, but it's just not set up. Meaning the liquid rocket fuel, I've obviously got the solid rocket fuel. I think we need to re-divert this core miner. In fact, I need to redo that altogether, really. So, oops. I see. Is the logistics filter wrong on purpose? Which logistics filter? Do you mean... You mean for this train here, or...? The chests at the train... Oh, no, that'll just be an error. No. Thanks for the spot. I think... I have already got one for landfill, haven't I? This wasn't meant to be the landfill station. I've just misappropriated it. Yeah, I've already got landfill, you see. What about that? I bet that one's wrong as well. Yep. Doody-doody-doody-doo. Where are you? Where are you? And then that should be... Do that. No, we can't. Why have you... Where did you get an extra one of them from? Oh. And where did it disappear to? Okay. Something happened there that I don't quite understand. It's because the whole remote working. This is like the template for the remote working, I think. You know, because of... This is like Arundel's solution to it. I'm sure that the sort of official version will be way better. But yeah. Upgrade. So I kind of need, I guess, just to do these. Right. I think we'll get the other one going down the side there as well. Okay. That was a red belt upgrade, wasn't it? And I need to go... Yeah, blue belt. Now you best come in that way, probably not. We've got that close to the railroad ports, then I'm sure it'll be definitely totally out of the way. First ever, I use filtered logistic chests a lot in my place. Helps me clean up when I get rid of stuff from my inventory. Yeah, they're hugely useful. To the extent that I don't think, since I worked that out, as it were, I don't think I've ever used passive provider, you know, the red ones, passive provider chests. Seem a bit redundant. Chunk through. Oops. Where did that go? Do that temporarily. And that could be better. Can I move that down? No, it's fine, but we will take a bit of a dog leg, I think. So we've taken both. Actually, yeah, let's just rework it. So this needs to go. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure the main block is clear, because I think we're going to end up quite a few rockets. It's a bit easier to have a bit more space to work with, really. That goes there. Like so. Pull this up. Cool. So that gets rid of that. That belt is then redundant. That's now empty. Cool. So I get rid of that. Get that down. Okay, so I need to kind of rework this really. Is that going to interact with that? Right, what does it do? Let's just dogleg it then. Since this infrastructure is already here, it's probably not a sensible way of doing that. Let's do that instead. I don't need to pick it up, so I don't know where I am. Do that. Excellent. Excellent. Let's rearrange this one as well then. I think we'll turn it around. In fact, that way maybe? Oops. Maybe because that's gonna be very close to the rail station, so actually it should go down. Doobie-doobie-doo. Oh look, dead coal line. The amount of coal that I produced in this base is just absolutely bonkers. So I'm going that way, I guess. Maybe I just have it going straight across. So where is the landfill? That. Haven't got any landfill? Sure, I got rid of it when I went to space, didn't I? Yeah. But yeah, the point is, this is where the line needs to be. City bots can't keep up with me. How are we doing? 6:20. Okay. So I'll probably go till 7. Technically that's kind of short-changing you on the stream, but I need to get this video uploaded. Tomorrow's stream will also be a shorter one. I'm going to watch the Grand Prix, as I say, so that doesn't start till 3. Hopefully, you know, be done well before 5, but you never know, especially as it looks like it's going to be a wet race, which always makes it a bit of a messy one. So could well be red flags and all sorts of stuff. So excuse me. So we'll have to see what time we get to finish, but I say fingers crossed. 5 o'clock I'll be able to stream, and I'll just do a couple of hours basically. So yeah, I think there's going to be more than enough content from me coming out this weekend. I'm stood on the rail track for people to get their teeth into. That. And find out what I think about the brains. Oh, they're unrestricted. Crikey. Don't want that. Ooh. Talking of nearly getting killed by trains. Went for me. It went for me. Did I not connect? Oh, of course, landfill. Can I? No, I can't make a few bits. Okay. Random belt. Okay. So let's let them just bring me a thing. If I'm building these in the logistics system, I don't really need to be carrying around a load, do I? Let's have a couple so that. Managed to make that perfectly one tile in the wrong place. Pick that. Pick that. So it's 8. So we'll have to see. Hello, Exfit. Hi, Tris. Many silos? Indeed, indeed. I hope you're well. Okay. How far out in am I? Now, there's a tricky question to answer, because if you mean playtime, I'm afraid I've only done. Sorry, if you mean playtime, I've been playing a lot of time in this map. If you mean in terms of science packs, not very far at all. So I've not been very efficient at all. I spent literally hundreds of hours, I think, basically building a gigantic wall around the base and setting all of that up. In terms of the science packs, as I say, I am not very far at all. We have the first red and the first blue science pack. So, was it production and utility? I don't think it's called utility, is it? That's it, basically. So, and I haven't really even. I've set those up as temporary bases on appropriate planets, basically. And they don't really work properly. So, I am very early in terms of that progress. But as I say, I have a couple of hundred hours in this map. So yeah, a mixed answer, I think. Looks like pretty late. No, as I say. So I say this is kind of now. It's getting to the point where this base is almost like, and it's what I was trying to go for. It's like almost a bit self-sufficient. I can kind of go and play on other planets and not worry too much about things on here. But it's not quite there yet. And I'm not sure that was a sensible goal. I think I probably should have just pushed on to other planets, really. Oh, well, that's barely anything, yeah, I say. Sometimes overbuilding is fun. Yeah, oh, well, yes, I've enjoyed it. It's not a complaint or anything. But yeah, I have gone a bit overboard, really. How have we got this landfill? Doing single item rockets, then I'm guessing. Yeah, that's right. Got all that in only 100 hours. That's still pretty good. No, it is more than it was 100 hours doing all of the defences, all the walls, all of that stuff. So the rest, I think it's about 250 maybe hours total. But a lot of it, as I say, was nothing to do with the space stuff, basically. Yeah, the warp probably helps. I mean, in terms of efficiency, pushing on to other planets would be best. In terms of efficiency, maybe not. Just for the war as well. Yeah, I'd say they are... One of the things I wanted to... Because I did this design ages and ages ago in a series where I kind of built blueprints. You know, I designed myself a load of blueprints because I'd never really done that before. And so I kind of wanted to test it as a system. But the problem with that, partly, was that it's all bot based, and of course you need to get, as in meaning, you know, requester chests and all that sort of stuff, and you need to get a particular science blue one, is it? I can't remember, to get the requester chest. So I ended up with a weird situation of kind of building a load of infrastructure that I then effectively just tore down. So it was kind of horribly inefficient, but as a system it does work really well, which I'm kind of pleased by. I haven't done... It's supposed to be... The idea with it was meant to support a mega base, basically, so you could expand your base completely remotely. You didn't need to go there at all, you know, and it had absolutely everything in the system that you needed to build it, and blueprints that would allow you to just stamp it down and all that, and it does appear to work like that, which I'm very pleased by. But it's probably not the series to be testing that, because that's not, you know, that's not what this is meant to be about. So yeah, successful, but possibly misplaced in a sense. Right then, so how am I going to set these up? I guess belts is probably just like easiest and quickest and simplest. And what order am I going to do them in? I guess literally just the order I've got the trains in. Should I set all of this upgrading, or is that going to cause problems? In fact, that's all yellow belt there as well. And I bet that doesn't have red belt in it, does it? There. So we do that, because that's only 1600. But no, it doesn't upgrade from red. Just quickly do that then. Boop de boop. Red to blue. Yeah, loads more red. What we got? 5.7k. Wowza. Okay, let's not do that then. And instead kind of limit it to the local area. Do I like Factorio trivia? In what sense? There's more belts than I have in my entire SE belt, I think. Oh wow, okay. I don't dislike Factorio trivia. Right, yes, so if we... Because we need to get some requesters, don't we? Because I haven't got... Yeah, I haven't got any of that. Need that, I guess. Because really I need to be working with either warehouses or storehouses, I guess. Do I want them as, you know, as buffery, as a buffery system sort of thing? Let me check actually now, I'm curious. What are 4 solid colour states of a rail chain signal? I'm not sure what you mean by solid colours. There's obviously red, green, yellow and blue. Would they be solid though? I guess they are. So, if we request in I have to do it in a smart way, aren't I? Because I need to unpack the sections, for one thing. So I need to unpack them. Need to request them in. Do that then. But use smarts to insert them. So I guess I can just do that with the inserter. So if this requests in the actual capsules and the packed sections, loads them in there. And then that only activates. In fact, I need to wire it to that, I think. That as well. In fact, let's not do it like that. Let's connect it to that. A bit better. And then only activate if there are less than 100 of them. Yeah. And then you're the same. Except these need to be... well, that needs to be a filter one. Always forget where the capture things are. There they are. That's less than one. And this always needs to be that. Most people don't know yellow. Okay. Because they can blink too. That's why I said solid. So you want another trivia question on a... you can go give it a go. Right. So the other bit, of course, is the fuel. Now, I haven't got any fuel things on me, have I? Because these all need to go to Navis orbit, but I haven't set up the destination things yet, so we'll leave them all manual trigger and stuff. Launch on cargo full. Launch on green signal when fuel full. Launch on green signal when cargo full. Launch on green signal or when cargo full. Green signal. So I am going to have to hook up. Did they bring me any? Did I even set it? I didn't set it. Need signal receivers so that we can get some kind of green signal, I guess. Because I guess... depends on whether I'm going to logistics up at the thing, I guess, doesn't it? Other than colour, what is the difference between the iron plate and copper plate icons? The angle that they're at. Ones are slightly different. I don't know what the angles are, but they're all... it's actually true of all of the things, isn't it? They're all slightly different angle orientations, which I think is meant to be a little bit of a, sort or a acknowledgement of... what the heck is that? Is that where a bot's died? Accessibility, basically. So that's sort of I think they're not actually very good at accessibility, because all of the science packs are obviously identical, and then you've got the worst cases for the colour blindness, red, green, blue. So yeah, I think they should do something about that, because I don't know that they're, what do you call it, the grayscale on them is different, so you can't really even tell them apart that way. Right, so did they bring me fuel? They did. So the question really is, I mean, if I was literally sticking fuel refineries like that, like some sort of madman, how much would we be making? Is the question. How many fuel refineries do I need, or is it better to do a big chunky fuel refinery and Just pump it over. How much? Because that was why I was looking at the thing. Because how much have we got? We've got 50k, it says. And then if these have rods in. So isn't it per minute, I guess, really? Per hour wouldn't be far off. 233. So it would take, if we wanted 50k, it's like a quarter to a fifth of that time, which is 15 minutes to half an hour type ballpark range. That's not too bad, is it? Yeah, okay. But how much would you need to consume? I didn't look at the numbers properly. So you would need 1.1 a second. Oh, it's a tiny amount, isn't it? Okay, could probably sort that out. So I think actually I prefer single fuel, generating area. Where are my rocket fuels coming in? Over here. Okay. Okay. So if we say that we end up with, like 8 there, then this isn't too bad a place to put in some rocket fuel generation, I think. Yeah, it's still awful for colourblind people, but they tried at least. There's some colourblind helper mods like a tags mod by Gouda. Oh, right, okay. What is one way you can get the game to print in chat? This cannot be damaged in purely vanilla free play Factorio without any mods or usage of chat or console commands. This cannot be damaged. Single fuel generation helps to buffer between launches better. Okay. This cannot be damaged. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what you can't damage in game. Couldn't be damaged. What's it doing? So, why didn't get the game to print to chat? Shoot a rail beneath a locomotive wagon. Oh, really? Okay. So it won't. It basically won't let you shoot the rail pieces underneath the wagon. Okay. I guess that has to involve then specifically targeting the rail. With C key, does it? Because it wouldn't normally. Actually, what am I trying to achieve with that? Would it be better to have the fuel all coming down the middle? I don't know. Fluid mechanics, you see. Do I want to wrestle with them? Yeah, it just prints that message in chat. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do. It'll be horrible, I think, but I'll do a central fuel line. If it was connected like there, that would be fine. Except the robopods would be in the way. How far up? Okay, could do one. So if we were going around like this. Oops. Better. Good old pumps, eh? Good old pumps. that up probably. Okay. What are we doing? 6:45. Okay. So as previously noted, going to knock off at about 7. We'll be back again tomorrow with slightly later starting stream, even though this was already slightly late. So starting at sort of 5 o'clock, 2 hours later than my usual, because I'll be watching the Grand Prix. The video for this week's Friday Facts, and also, as it happens, the Steam announcement will be going live, I would guess, about 10 o'clock, which will be around 3 hours or so after the end of the stream. It really depends on if I've made any errors and I've got to re-render it, and how quickly it uploads, which is not quick because my internet upload speed is not great. In fact, let us. So yeah, look out for those if those are things you are interested in. So, well, that's just a crash, is it? Yeah. Actually, yeah. Oops. This end of stream, so I guess not sometimes. I miss here, I miss anything. Not far off, no, I was just making sure I cover the bases, because I'm streaming at a bit of a weird time and stuff, so it's just advance warning in a sense. But no, not quite yet, but about 10 minutes or so I'll probably knock it on the head and just get this fuel set up, really. Is all I'm after. Oops. That's out of range, of course it is. Where was the rocket fuel? There it is. It's even got a belt on it already. nice and even. Let us move it down though, because I don't have any room to put it, don't you? There we go. 2. Okay, like. Yeah. Let's go with what's this on the cut that off and then we'll underground that part rather than this part. So those two need to go with me. Maybe yeah, it needs to be one further down, I think. So that. One of those. One of those. Another one of those. So. Okay, and then. Reconnect this one. No, put that such that. Yeah, there we go. Oh. Going in there. What did we do before copy and paste? Cool. There is actually like 1,000,000 tons of rocket fuel in the system. It would be good to kind of get rid of it. As in, I think these are actually in places chock-a-block, but yeah, there you go, you see you've got dozens of rocket fuels. Trouble is, if I put requesters on, I think it might start pulling from this. Oh no, these aren't stored. Okay. Do. In fact, this all needs ripping up as well, doesn't it? Huh, okay. Because these should be, yeah, bot-based. Okay. Okay. I think I might actually disconnect this because I'm not sure they fuel up properly. I think they just keep sucking in rocket fuel if you know, and they just keep going in, keep filling and filling and filling. That's what they did on the other one. So just going to be slightly cautious on that. But yeah, we need. Oh, has it not brought me? Oh, it has. Okay. We need some kind of storage thing, don't we? Is it just a dumb storage? That doesn't reach all the way over, does it? It's fine. Is it? Am I right with that? 512, 500. So they basically hold a cargo rocket's worth. Every time I deal with these, it just feels bonkers to be putting this much material into a single thing. Hello, Mia. How are you doing? We need to do a notification cleanse so I can turn back on my notifications. How did the qualifiers go? I'm not sure what you mean by qualifiers. Are you referring to Football. I'm not. I don't. If you mean soccer, football, I'm afraid I don't. I don't pay any attention to that. Oh, the Grand Prix. Oh, qualification. Oh, yes. Okay. Sorry. So yes. Well, a bit of a revelation. So or a bit of a turn up for the books. So there are 3 Brits in first, second, and third position basically. So obviously this is qualification, so it's not the actual race, but pole position, second place, and third place are the 3 Brits on the grid. Where's another Brit? So basically, Russell, and then Norris, and then Hamilton, I think, or it might be Hamilton and Norris. I got a bit mixed up, but that's not happened for 68 years, basically. Was it 68 years they said, or 1968? It was one of those. My commentary. So it's either not since 1968 or 68 years ago. But yeah, we're doing incredibly well, Brits, in terms of our sort of current driver lineup is kind of phenomenal. It's obviously Hamilton, but there's a driver, Lando Norris, he's a really good driver. He always has been, but he's not quite had the opportunity because hasn't quite had the car. But this year's McLaren is really good, and it's getting better. So the main, I didn't connect that coal mining back up to that. The sort of main. So basically, Red Bull has kind of been dominating for the last decade or so. But it looks like they're finally getting some competition. But yes, so it was a good qualifying. But it also, so the UK / Silverstone in particular is quite cold and quite sort of. It's weird. It's like it's autumn basically, and therefore it's basically doing what Silverstone does, which is basically rain on everybody. And that always makes the races a bit sort of spicier, basically. Do I want to just test this with one of them? That'd be good, but then I don't really want to do it with the one on the end, because these will just fill up with fluid and stuff. So how about we copy and paste this whole malarkey? In fact, we'll copy and paste the roboports as well. Oh, well, that is exciting. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to the races. I know. I don't tend to bother sort of talking about it too much because I know Formula One's quite a bit of a not too many sort of not. It's not. It's usually a popular sport, but people tend to think it's quite boring, basically. So yeah. So I don't tend to talk about it a great deal, but yeah, it's been a really good season. There's been so much good racing. The Red Bull, Verstappen has kind of romped away with it because he didn't really have enough competition earlier on. But last few races, it's been really, 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 really good. Because I need to disconnect that because I say Norris has, kind of been able to actually compete with him. What I need to do as well then is request in. But yeah, there was even argy bargy at the last one. They were banging wheels, and also, in fact, they gave each other punctures because they weren't willing to back down, which is kind of what you like in Formula One drivers. It's better when they're quite feisty, Get some good overtaking and good racing action. Okay, so let's see if the bots bring us those. We will set this to be what? What would be a good thing that's nice and close by that we want lots of would be copper, I think, because we have a real copper shortage. So let us connect up the copper, which is right here, but I want to probably have a separate line, I think, don't I? I think we need to turn this back into a 2-laner. there, which probably means I'm overrunning again, aren't I? So I'm going to stop, but we'll hook this up first, and then I can kind of leave it running while I go and get a bit of dinner. Except, I'll just build it. What would it be? Oops. I can. There. Oh, those both come up. Balance them. Connect back to there. I need to do. But quite like tidying up. I think it's a bit of a mess. This belt. Yeah, I'll just hook this into the system. Okay, so I think that'll do us. I'm thinking maybe I should put, because I do have text plates and stuff, and I like installed it with the intention of putting notes on things, you know, like saying, because this rocket is just going to look like any other rocket essentially. So I need to put a little text plate saying copper, you know, or copper to Alvis or something like that. Oh, copper to orbit or something like that. But then I kind of didn't bother. Okay. Could do with tweaking these as well, couldn't I? Because we're going to have a lot more throughput needed. Because we can easily fit. I mean, part of the reason to switching from to 1-to-1 was I can fit. You know, I can have a train stacked up behind, but then I've not properly rearranged the actual rail to achieve that. So yeah, it's one at a time at the moment. But we have just added, and we have waiting loads and loads of copper ready to come over here. Oh, it's built it already. That was quick. And it has stopped fueling it. Okay. That's good. Fiddly bop. Right, yes, well, that's it for today. Schedule, there we go. I will be back tomorrow, as previously noted. I will be playing the same thing. The plan is to play this just continuously now, each weekend until the Space Age expansion launches, when of course I'll switch over to that. How far we'll get, I don't think we'll get very far. It will rely on me playing quite a lot off stream, and I'm struggling to find the energy, if I'm honest. I'm a bit shattered after all the work I've had to do, and then also I've basically adopted a second part-time job of doing the Friday Facts videos. Speaking of which, the latest Factorio Friday Facts read-through video will be going up as soon as I can get it up. It will be 3 hours at least, I would suspect, because it needs to upload, and it's 2 hours and 11 minutes, as I should be saying, rather than 2.25 hours. But it's a long video, which means it takes a long time to upload. And that's assuming I've not made any errors, which is a distinct possibility. If it has and I need to re-render it, then we're talking quite late. But it should be going up by the end of today, and or be, well, end of today in the UK, and be ready for you to watch at some point later on, either today if it's your local, or tomorrow. My plan going forward with the Friday Facts is to put them live on the Saturday, what for me is lunchtime, so 12 o'clock type time for UK BST type area, so that if you join the live streams at 3, again this is all local time. I have a converter on my page, but if you join the live streams at 3, hopefully you will have sort of just watched the video, is what I'm thinking, if you're someone who's interested in that content and you like my videos, etc., then hopefully there'll be a sort of it'll be a bit more of a seamless thing where, where, we can chat about all the rubbish I've speculated about, basically. And also it takes the pressure off me a bit, because I've been struggling with the recent ones where they've been so big and there's been so much in them, to get them up on the Friday, and it doesn't seem to actually benefit me. No, it doesn't make. In fact, the views are better if I do it on the Friday. On the Saturday. So that's a very long-winded way of saying that the plan going forward is for me to be putting the Friday Facts videos live on the Saturday. Sometime around midday for me, and hopefully there'll be also then more regularity, which YouTube seems to like for its recommendations. Yes, I say back tomorrow, but it'll be later than normal, 2 hours later. We'll be doing a couple. Sorry, I didn't see that. So I have my Let's Fix. So this time I won't be as late. Have a good day across the pond. No worries. You can ignore my Twitter message. Okay. Yes. So was there anything else? I guess. Yeah. Well, the basic point is, I say that what I usually do is I put every Friday. For every Friday rather, I read the Friday Facts out, but I also do a load of analysis and speculation. So if you've not watched any of those videos and you think that might be of interest, and I do go off on some flights of fancy, and I really enjoy doing them. They're great fun, and people do seem to enjoy them. But never think it's serious. It's all me just coming up with mad ideas usually. So that sort of thing. But you can find them all on my YouTube channel, basically, which is linked there, which is Trismegistus or Triggles, which should find me on either of those. Live streams, as I say, every weekend. At the moment, playing SpaceX. They will go back next week to 3 o'clock. The usual time. But this week, because of the Grand Prix, because it's the one Grand Prix a year I get to watch live. Then you will be seeing me a bit later, and the streams will be a bit shorter. The YouTube channel also has all of my VODs. So every series I've done of Factorio, which is quite a few now, the Mega Base, the Blueprints, the Aesthetic series. A lot of these I'll revive once Space Age is out and I'm more familiar with it, because I'll need to build myself some new blueprints. I want to build some new decorative bases, and that might be in part of the game. There's one suggestion maybe we're going to get some decorative stuff in Factorio. Factorio Vanilla. What else? There's the blueprint, the No Spoon run I did, and then there's also a load of other building and management games. So Tectonica, Satisfactory. Don't know whether I'll do a series on Satisfactory when it releases into 1.0. I'm obviously a nobody in that community, and I know you guys don't generally, watch my content, watch my Satisfactory content. So I'll probably pick it up at some point a lot later once Space Age is all, is old news, as it were. So Satisfactory, and then also Dice Program, where I played through three series of that, basically. So yeah, all sorts of building and management games. So that's me. That's all my promo stuff done. And I hope if you have been watching I hope you enjoyed it, rather. And you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Wow, I messed that one up, didn't I? Crikey. Cheers.